Alrighty guys, so gonna do a quick cell phone update. I did get some more stuff crossed off on the list. I did the intake bolts. I did some more stuff. Big list. A lot of the yellow is, like I said before, just electrical. And a lot of the stuff is just small stuff yet I gotta do. So wideband serpentine belt drive shaft, put the injectors in. Bolt the fender on. A lot of it is very small stuff. Bolt the diff on, diff cover on. A lot of the stuff is very small yet that I have to do. So what I've done so far, or over the last couple days, I put the bump steer kit on. So before I was having an issue where it was poked way out. It was like 2 inches out too far, or an inch or whatever. So I used a 9/16 18 thread per inch die, fine thread, and cut 2.5 inches of thread onto the tie rod. So this is all here. This is all new thread that I cut with the die, and then I chopped the end of it off. So this was on here on the end, sticking out way too far. Cut 2.5 inches of new thread, and then chopped 2 inches off the end of it, and was able to use the full bump steer kit. And the heim joint side isn't sticking out too far. It looks pretty close. It should be adjustable when I take it in to get in alignment. It looks pretty close. I might do some toe measurements, but it should be close. Close. So I did do the intake bolts. That's not a big step, but for me, I usually take the intake off, and then I look inside all the intake runners. I usually don't tape the intake, which is a good practice to tape off the intake ports. But I've had issues in the past where I have a bolt or something stuck inside of it. I had one failure of an engine because I had an intake, a bolt on the intake port, and my son admitted later that he dropped one in there. But so that's a shitty way to lose a piston, because you lose a bolt in there. And because of that, I don't tape it. For some reason, I don't tape it still. But I usually just look inside every time before I bolt the intake down, because after that incident, I did find a bolt in there one time inside the intake, because I usually set stuff up here like a dummy, like that right there, and then they shimmy off and find their way into there. So that has happened. That's all bolted down. Cable, throttle, cable, throttle, that's all bolted down. So that should be good. I did get the drain fittings today, so I'll probably do that tomorrow. But one of the big things that I did work on today was getting the seat bracket done. And the seat is in there now. It's mounted. The harness is in, and I am going to jump in and pause the video quick. Okay. So this is in. I showed you guys that I did the shifter before. So the shifter is all set up. That's all good. And I have the 5-point bolted in. Someone left it twisted.
That was me.
Yeah. It was the one recording. So you got all this stuff in. Holy shit! What the hell did you do this?
What?
Did you pull it after you
Nope.
No.
Twist and release.
Twist and release, and then pull it extremely tight. Or maybe you're just that much smaller than me.
Oh, yeah.
That could be.
I did tighten it a lot.
Alright, so I got this side tight, these tight. I do have the crotch bar down there. What anti-submarining they call it, because submarining, if you have the 4-point, like a normal seatbelt, if you get in a hard enough accident, you can actually go underneath the seatbelt and smash forward. which is called submarining. So that's why you have the fifth thing here, so you don't submarine and go underneath the seatbelt. So that's all here. We're practicing some crash testing. Want to see it?
Yep.
So you can see my scuffs on the helmet. I wanted to test the height, of course, where if I'm going to hit the bars or not. But just looking at making sure steering wheel is in the right spot. I'm not hitting the top very easily, like if I sit normally, I'm not like pressed into the bar. Making sure the pedals go all the way down good. That's fine. Shifter's in a good spot for shifting. I did make sure that I could put it back into park with one hand because I can't reach the reverse lockout. So I did make sure that I do have the ability to actually push the reverse lockout lever forward. And everything works from here, and then just kind of, I don't know if it's relevant, but just kind of, what would you do if you were loose and crashed and like looking around and maybe you're going to hit some stuff. We looked at crashing forward, rolling over, a lot of different stuff. So, and then the coolest part about it is after you get done crashing and rolling over and the car's on fire, you can just pop it out and get out of the car really quick with a little twist like that. So that was kind of what we spent a lot of time doing today. So that's about it. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.